Welcome sim racing fans, Flux Motorsport 2021 Season 1 Race 5, Daytona International Speedway. Racetrack so nice we come to it twice. My name is One Shoe. I'll be joined in the booth here with Muttley pretty soon. And we've got the cars that are coming out now for their qualifying laps. This race is a night race. When we were here earlier in the year, it was in the middle of the day. Here we're actually going to do our qualifying and also have our race 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So here we see a couple of cars on the track. We're seeing Cat Guy, Dale the Whale. Look like they are working together very well. Get some big numbers. Cat Guy just ran a 46.340. And Dale the Whale getting that push behind. So these guys up at the very top portion of it are certainly scooting right along. This is race 5 of the 8 races in the Stock Car series. We actually missed race number 4. We had technical difficulties in the PSN network, so we've now went to, and that race will not be made up in that portion of this portion of the season. So what we will have is points are always a premium at a race, and now with down to only 7 races, those points are going to be even more challenging to take care of. Here we get a good look at O'Brien. O'Brien actually won the first race here, early part of the season. We're definitely expecting, and if you want a preview for what the race should look like, Cat Guy, Dale the Whale, and O'Brien. If I had to put some money on which one of these guys I would expect to see up front towards the end of the race, I think that would be 3 very good candidates right there. Now, if this is your first time catching us on Flux Motorsport TV, and if you decide with what you're seeing here you want to be part of the action, then it is possible for you to join the Flux community. And you do this by going to www.fluxmotorsport.com, sign up there, join us on the Discord, get your evaluation drive, pick a championship series, and you too can be featured here on Flux TV. While you're on the Discord, also make sure to browse the marketplace for Flux swag, because winning is pointless if you don't look good while doing it. Discounts and offers from Fanatec, Acelith through our affiliate links. Join us here at Flux Motorsports, the home of clean sim racing and eMotorsports. So I hear Muttley, and I see you picked a really good pack for us to kind of watch. Tell us a little bit about what you're seeing here. I know you actually ran a couple of laps of practice beforehand. Tell me a little bit about what you felt some of the differences were running the car now in the evening as opposed to when we ran it in the middle of the day.
It's probably a little slicker. Oops. Which it's strange because during the day you get the track gets hotter, where this will be the opposite for the drivers. The actual track will probably drop in temperature because we're running at night, so it'll be a lot cooler conditions than what we're previously used to at this track. So yeah, I think you would have to have probably different tyre pressures than you normally would. You know, you might have been looking for your tyres not to overheat, but here you're going to have fairly cold tyres all the way through, I would say.
When we look at the leaderboard too, we see some very high 45s. I think when we were running in practice earlier, I saw low 46s. I didn't remember seeing any 45s. So they're setting some tremendously fast paces out there today.
But you also got to remember with being at night, the engine is loving life. You know, you're getting the most horsepower out of it because the air's denser. You know what I mean? It's not warm, so your engine performance is always better when the air's colder. You know, I mean, hopefully Project Cars goes to that level, but I always believe that did a pretty good job of getting things right, and cars just seem to be, you know, always a bit faster when it's in cooler conditions. So
you're right. I had kind of forgotten about that, and that's some of that free horsepower. I always wonder too at times that the delicate balance between, you know, if the track gets too hot, you lose grip. If the track gets too cold, you wind up losing grip too. So trying to be able to find that balance to maximize the minimum contact patch that you've got with these tires on these cars.
Well, you know, I definitely would say, you know, as the, you know, say you're running daytime track, as you're pushing these cars to the limit, and it being warmer, yes, the contact patch gets quite reasonably hot. So yes, the track, I would call it, becomes slick. And feel like it's a bit greasy. That's because the tyres, one, are warm and close to overheating, and two, the track surface is also doing the same thing. So, you know, the two combinations sort of combine to make the track feel very slick. And now, saying that it's in night time, you can say the same thing. Yes, the tyres are quite warm, but the track is going to get quite cool, and the two surfaces just might not match again, and then the track becomes that slick feeling that just the tyres just skating across the surface a bit, and that's the way these cars run. You know, how these NASCARs are. Got to have that little bit of a drift in them. Make it nice. I mean, Daytona, out of all the tracks we go to, is probably the easiest one just to jump into the car and go driving and not have too many problems. Where Texas and Indy, where we didn't go last week, you really got to know how your car performs out of the turns. Where this one, most of the time, you know, 50% of the time you're turning, you know, you're on banking. Where the other courses, you're not as much.
Yeah. And it's interesting that you brought up Indy too, because we will be going back there in 2 weeks. We do 2 races at Daytona, 2 races at Texas, and 2 races at Indy. So now we've lost a full session of, you know, gathering data at Indianapolis. So we'll be going into that second to the last race of the year. And speaking of that, when we take a look at the points, we see that O'Brien, who actually won at Daytona last time we were here, is leading the points. Right now he's showing number 5 on the grid. Cat Guy is number 2 in the points. Cat Guy is also top 3 in points in a couple other series right now. And now he's back to having 2 good arms. I couldn't beat that guy when he had 1 arm in a cast. Now that he's got 2, he's going to be even harder to beat. Carlin Hicks in 3rd, Jiggly Jello in 4th, Dale the Whale in 5th. Dale has had some tremendous drives this year. I look this as being an opportunity for him to make a big jump in the points. Green Gaming in 6th, Harry 98 in 7th. My Name Jeff is in 8th place. CMCF is in 9th in the points. He's number 2 on the speed chart right now. Old Smoky, who is not with us this evening, is in 10th. McToasty, Daz, TCT Thrasher, and 14th in point Lecky 2000. And I'm really, after some of his comments in the last race that he was in, I'm really glad to see him back to give stock cars one more shot. I told him at the very least you got to hang on long enough at least to get to Watkins Glen, because Watkins Glen's in these cars is totally fun. And we've got a new driver that's joining us this evening by the name of Booth Jumbo. We see there he is, number 12 on the chart. Very respectable times. Don't know if this is his first opportunity to be in a stock car, but I like what you mentioned, Muttley, about if you're going to pick one track to come out and run to be kind of your first track, this Daytona is definitely the track.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm even talking from controller / steering wheel. I always found Daytona a lot easier to drive, either controller-wise or steering wheel. You know, it's just, I don't know what it is about the track. Is it just because it's got a bit more constant banking than Texas? But Texas seems to have a very steep banking compared to Daytona. So I think that the way the tracks are set up, where they are in the US, I think it's got a lot to do with it. And yeah, I always found out of all the tracks on oval side of things, Daytona was the easiest, and everybody that was putting a room up was first room they put up was Daytona, and then you run everything, just not NASCARs, Ferrari / GTE / everything. We just knocked this place senseless. I mean, I've got on my profile 27 days, so I think I need to find a new track.
Hey, let's go jump on board with CMC. We got about 5 minutes left here, and let's kind of look to see if he's running in a group there, and let's just kind of see how he's looking. He's got boy, he really come wide off a 2 there, and here comes Lecky coming up on the inside. So it makes you wonder if they were trying hey, let's see who's a better pusher, who's a better drafter, because the setup of the car.
Some people believe the slingshot's a good idea, and then find the cars that like do that. So the car that gets a good draft past the other cars and goes in front and handles up the cars behind, you can get fast track times, but NASCARs, you're better off pushing like CMC's doing here, is stick behind the drive as close as you can, and you might be losing fractions of a second. You're better off being here and then being on, say, on your own or anything like that, because you just lose time.
Yep, and what we're seeing O'Brien doing here, he's working the draft to a T. This is some real textbook driving here. He's watching what CMC is doing, so he's using his rear mirror as much as he is his windshield. And he knows that if you keep those guys behind him, he gets that little air bubble push to help him in the draft. And also it makes sure that those guys, they can't get around you if they're behind you.
I thought they were going to go 3 wide then. In qualifying was going to go, that's going to end up in tears.
They tried that a little bit off of 2. Thankfully, they thought better of it. But this is the kind of action that you're going to see during the race. We get a group of cars like this, and they will be jostling back and forth for position, trying to get that advantage. I like, too, when you mentioned earlier about the cars running nose to tail in the draft. Those 2 cars together will definitely run faster than one poor car that's hung out on the outside lane like we saw CMC was there.
It's extremely hard to be on the outside. You got to be like almost on their mirror, hugging the car to get the side draft, and that's really extremely hard to do in most cars, let alone a NASCAR.
Looks like CMC's back in the pits. Let's go jump on with O'Brien.
Strung out, but he's still getting a nice draft back there.
Yeah, what would you say you need to be? Would you say you need to be 2 to 3 tenths at the most behind somebody and still be able to pick up at least a whiff of the draft?
Yeah, well, Brian picked it out of that. He was on the shot. It looked like he was out, but he was definitely within. Any further back than what he was, he wouldn't have got that draft. I mean, he wouldn't have been able to pick it up. Mm-hmm. So I think any more than 2 or 3 cars out, and you probably are starting to lose it. And once it sort of breaks away, and you've lost it, then you're on your own, waiting for the pack behind you to catch you up. So well, got like a minute 50 to go, so it looks like Jiggly might get his first podium, fastest lap, well, fastest qualifying anyway. So, and yeah, the probably some of that is due to because he was in a 3-pack train when he put that time down, and that helps you a lot if you get the gap right. And what I mean by that is you time your run to the finish line really well. You have a bit of space in front of you, and when you catch the guy in front of you, you're still running to the line, and bang, your time will go up. It'll be really super quick.
I saw Dale the Whale actually have some really bad aero push off a 3, and we saw that too when they were coming in that pack of 3 in that last time, and saw him get really high up on the outside and make contact with the wall. But this is, if you're going to kind of test the limits of where you think your car can run, this is definitely the best place to do it at this time, because now you get that opportunity to get you a fresh bullet before the race starts.
Yeah, and we're going to see a lot of this bouncing what Dale was doing, because of this. The Daytona track seems to do that. If your internet speed's a bit different to everybody else, it gives you a bit of a Skippy the Kangaroo look. and yeah, they always just call me bouncy because I was, been from Australia. That's not always fantastic. So. Right down to the last 30, so see if anybody out of these two get any further up front. No, nothing out of that lot.
Yeah, I think those two guys. I think there was too much. They needed a little more of that little more cooperation there to get. Set up.
I think if they should have done, one run with, Dale in front. Maybe one run with Green Gaming in front. Green Gaming didn't seem, so that's the top of the board there. Yeah.
Jiggly Jello in the number 10 Carton car. CMC, he was really fast in the number 33 Rexar Outdoor Store car. My name Jeff, and in the number 83 Kings Racing Team, O'Brien. Number 66 Casino car, Carlin Hicks, the number 4 Cash Now Ford, Dale the Whale.
He'd be happy with 5th, because then you can see what's going on.
Right, in the number 3 Elberson suspension car, Lecky, back for some more challenges. Here in the number 12, Basomi Motorsports, Green Gaming, and the number 47 Rapacar, OGR Cat Guy, are second in the points right now. The 74 Curtis Motor Racing. It's your boy Squash.
Squash. Cat's running a lot further back than he normally is. He's normally up the front. The front,
Well,
at least
that's
5, yeah.
the great thing about Daytona. It doesn't really matter where you start at. You don't get any advantage. Although, if you had to choose between starting in the front and being part of the wreck or starting in the back and being involved in the wreck, where would you prefer to start?
Where Carlin is 5th, I really would. It's mid-pack. It's nice. You know what I mean? You get to see if there's any wobbles at the front and gain that position off the guys in front, and while that car's slipping behind you, you're sort of putting a little bit of a barrier between you and the guys coming behind you as such, and you sort of hopefully getting away from the
So we move the drivers into the 2-minute room.
So who's your money
up
on?
Here on the grid.
I
got to go with O'Brien, and Dale's not going to like to hear it, but Dale would be kind of a close second. I know I'm leaving Cat Guy out of the mix right now.
Oh, jeez.
So
I'm going OGR Cat Guy just for something different, and
okay, Cat Guy and Carlin.
And a side bet on Carlin, because you just can't. Yeah, you can't put him, out of the mix. So the top 3 for me: OGR Cat Guy, Carlin, and O'Brien, and then we'll just see what the rest do.
Yeah, 12 out of a possible 16 drivers. We had some drivers that had last-minute cancellations, and when that occurs, you just kind of never know. Life kind of happens while you're doing other things, and I'm predicting now that we're going to see in our next 45 minutes of racing, things are going to be fast. There's going to be a lot of cars making big swings, moving up, moving down, moving forward, moving back, and I think pit stops. We saw that. Yep, yeah. We saw that happen yesterday with the IndyCar race, and we know what a challenge that winds up being. Stock Cars, by the way, winds up finishing off the 7 series that we have here in Flux. Tuesday is the Flux Motorsport touring cars. Here we get to the start.
And racing. Somebody got a good jump. Who's that going down the middle? My name's Jeff.
Yeah, these cars, even though they're not the bullets on acceleration, these big V8s generate a lot of torque. And one of the things that we found over the years that this is one of those instances where taking the car up to its maximum RPM range, the torque actually starts to dramatically drop off. So you can short shift these just a little bit and get that kind of a pull. And if I had to guess, that would have actually happened here. So is this CMC up in the wall? Very much like he was during the practice. Must be getting his tire pressures to come in at this point.
Always had fast cars, but never a long run car.
Yes.
Nothing against the
whoa.
BMC, whoa, that's Jiggly going. No, it wasn't Jiggly. Who the hell's down there? What the hell was that? Like a smash.
Well, it looks like when they came off of turn 2, it looked like that car just like, I don't know if it had aero push, went to the wall. That is Ride Dog.
Yeah, Ride Dog, yeah.
Be interesting. I didn't necessarily see that. It looked like they were. I was just getting ready to compliment them because everybody was in a line and just kind of taking into account that it is a 45-minute race. There's really only one lap that you need to lead. It's the last lap.
Well, that's what Cat's doing at the moment, even though he's where he is, he's just sitting there waiting for the mistakes to happen in front of him.
Right.
I mean, when you come to a two-line train and you can't physically move anywhere, you're best off just being in that little bubble, you know, behind the car, so you can see what happens and get out of the accident's way, but also, you know, be ready to race when you want to race. Cause,
yeah, he's in the draft.
Yeah.
We got Dale and CMC taking the high line, and I suspect
if they work
that
together, it's going to work. That's what you need, is need two cars. On your own, it's extremely hard.
Yeah, that high line is so tantalizing to jump up there, but you're right, you need help, and it looks like Carlin, I thought maybe he was going to jump up there too. Nope, he knows. Oh, Lecky decides he's going to jump up on the high line and get up to that portion of the party.
Yeah, we'll see how his car handles the right until you get to the corner, and then you start going, oh, there's a wall out there.
Well, and we've seen CMC actually his car get a little loose and get up into the wall. I'm not sure behind there. Ooh, there's even a little side drafting going on there.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's Lecky.
Yeah.
Coming out of the trial, the car got extremely loose. And I can't say if he actually made contact with CMC. Spinning through the infield, him and Carlin.
Yeah. Didn't help.
Oh, what incredible bad luck. Here, first couple of laps, only 6 laps into this race. And those two cars now are going to have damage.
Yep.
Now, how long it's going to take them to actually get into the pits, get the damage fixed. The only good thing is that the two cars together, if the two cars can work together, and those are two very smart drivers, and if they can't actually work together.
Yeah, the pit stop and the fixing is going to hurt them. They'll probably go a lap down on this lot. But yeah, I'll definitely say what happened was really loose, and that was throwing up all kinds of wind turbulence behind him, and Lecky just caught an edge on the tyre, and it went stage left in a hurry.
Yeah, that car
been in that situation, and you can't do anything about it. And Carlin was just unfortunate. They can see the car going up in the air alongside him, going, I hope I'm going under. Yeah.
Well, and I wonder if Cat Guy's life flashed in front of his eyes, seeing Lecky turning left right in front of him.
Yeah. The thing is, he would have gone underneath that car. He was going, thank God for that.
Yes. Well, now Dale's lost his highline drafting partner, but he seems to be doing okay. He hasn't given up much.
Close enough to keep the draft, and my name Jeff just helped him a whole lot by scooting up there and giving him a bit of a break.
Oh, I was say it looked like for a moment there, Cat Guy may be jumping up there to help him.
He decided I'll stick here behind BMC.
So as we round out this week of our championship series at Flux Motorsport, Tuesday it starts all over again. The Flux Motorsport Touring Car Championships. Murph is our commentator for that. 8 p.m. UK time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then on Thursday, we've got the GT1s with Lecky. and McToasty, also at 8 p.m. UK, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then on Friday is the GTEs, Carlin Hicks, and I'm a part-time commentator working with Carlin, 8 p.m. Eastern, 1 a.m. UK time. Saturday we get into the first of the double headers. We got the LMP2s. Giacomo is our commentator there, 8 p.m. UK time, 3 p.m. Eastern time. Indy cars, Carlin Hicks, Pogo Mojo, commentators for that, 8 p.m. Eastern, 1 a.m. UK. Sunday, the other doubleheader, the GT3s, and I apologize because I'm not sure who the commentator is for the GT3s. One of the, certainly the highly attended, and the GT3 series right now has some of the closest points going on. 8 p.m. UK time, 3 p.m. Eastern. And then the stock cars, we finish off the week with yours truly and Muttley, 8 p.m. Eastern and 1 a.m. UK. So here we are, 3 deep in the line with O'Brien, and you really start to get a sense for how much these cars move just from the air moving around them. And O'Brien's keeping a really good buffer between him and, oh geez, scary when you get that little touch. It doesn't take much at all.
Yeah.
Even though these cars weigh 3,400 pounds, sometimes they move around like they're light as a feather.
And yeah, it's if you haven't raced these before or even raced ovals before, it's hard to explain because somebody's going stage left down the bottom there.
Another one coming off of the tri-oval exit.
Yeah. Car wasn't happy and just went stage left.
Can't tell if that was Ride Dog again.
Might have been Ride Dog. I wonder if Ride Dog's on the controller. It's easy to do that on the controller, like it will just absolutely snap out underneath you and you go stage left and it takes you a bit to pull the thing back. It's like, I used to be a controller operator and trust me, I'm glad I went to
Yeah, we were having a interesting discussion about that during the practice session. And as much as I love being a sim racer, I mean, I'm far from being upper tier. But if I had to be on a controller, I certainly would probably not even be racing this game. I'd probably still be doing Mario Kart or something. By the way, that is not a paid advertisement.
No, but saying we have friends and good deals at the moment, don't forget to go to FluxMotorsports.com and check out the shops. There's nice advantages of being there and looking at the phonetic stuff and all the rest of the nice little discounts that they've gotten in that little capability through the shop. So don't forget to support Flux Motorsports and get your gear and get discounts and go racing.
I got my shirt here about a week ago, and I've been brave enough to take a picture of it and show it off to everybody. So just trust me, they are really, it's a high quality material, very comfortable, because when you're running along here at about 200 miles an hour nose to tail with a group of your closest friends, it really helps for you to be able to keep your cool.
Oh yeah. Well, and as we were talking about earlier, before these guys got into the race, race was, do you want to be these cars in the middle of the pack because the air's taken off your nose, the air's taken off your wing, you're basically in a bathtub with excess weight of whatever these things weigh, and you do go stage left. If the car catches a corner, it's not fun.
Yeah, and these cars actually have to be, to get the speed out of them, the cars need to be a little bit on the loose side anyway. If you get the car set up to where it's neutral to maybe tight, it just really kills the speed. So you keep the car loose or to where it has maybe a little bit of oversteer, and it frees up the car so it can then take advantage of the horsepower that it does have.
Nice job of helping Dale out there come up, gave him a bit of a support on help with his side draft.
So I can't tell if Carlin's back in the pits after the repair or if this is his strategy stop. We've got a little over 30 minutes left to go in the race.
Away, so yeah, I mean they might have, but I didn't see it until now. But Lucky didn't go in with him, so that's gonna hurt.
Yeah, that was certainly because you got, there's really two modes at this racetrack. You're either up drafting in the group and your hands are full and you're focused, or you're the guy that's back there out of the draft and it's 2.5 miles of with your right foot flat on the floor and you're waving to the fans as you go by because there's really not much else for you to do on this big track.
And people might think drafting partners is cheating. Trust me, when these guys are coming down from the line on the last lap, they won't be partners. They'll be demolition derby.
It'll be. If we've got a pack like this, it'll be 5-7 wide at the start-finish line. The double yellow line on the inside or the left side. Oh, here we go. We got a couple of cars peeling off. Is that Cat Guy and O'Brien?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, there you go. So what they've decided to do. Oh, and it gave Dale the opportunity to get down to the bottom lane. So he was finally rewarded running all those laps in the high line. Now, let's see, with 30 minutes left here. Yeah. So if these guys were paying any attention at all to what O'Brien and Cat Guy just did, Jeff and Jiggly and Dale, these guys, Dale got hung out to dry. Nobody would come with him.
Well, he might be alright, because if he gets in and out, and gets right up behind...
if he has no damage,
Brian, he'll be alright. If he stuffs his pit stop by any means, then he'll be on his own. So it could work for him, and I'm hoping it will. Yeah, that's a hard choice. Do I go in now? Do I go in later with these guys? And sometimes you're sort of tired by what the group in front of you does. They're coming up on Cat to give him a lap down, so... Ooh.
Well, but it's okay because they still have to, those guys all still have to, they still have to stop.
They have to stop. Yeah, Carlin's right here as well, so... Interesting to see what this front pack does. Jesus, CMC loves scraping that wall.
He's been leaving little bits of that of that number 33 Rexar Outstar 4 all along the walls there. I guess he wants to make sure that his sponsor gets plenty of airtime.
Oh, it's shed weight. You have a door.
Yeah, there you go. A little weight reduction for the win.
Uh-huh. Yeah, my car's not turning left too well here. I'll just shed some excess metal on the fence.
Make the right side flatter, yeah.
Yeah. I'm still interested in this pack versus O'Brien and them, just to see if they can get it all the way to the end. It's got 27 minutes left. We're running, lap 23. I don't think they'll get all the way through on one tank. So.
Right, and knowing that the cars ahead of them have damage too. We don't know how much damage. It'd have been really interesting to be in the pits to actually see, out of the damage that did occur, how much did Carlin and Lecky choose to actually take care of. Yeah, and this front pack, are they going to make a decision, all four of them going together and work together in an effort to try to maintain the fact that they have clean cars, that they have got this figured out? My name is Jeff, has worked the top to bottom line. Everybody stayed in line, and they've played very good with each other, with the exception of poor CMC and his car getting a little loose, especially when we come off of here, come off of 2. Well, one thing for sure, if you didn't have anything else to do on a Sunday night, this is some great action that you're actually seeing here. And if we've already mentioned once...
Front 6 has been spellbinding, and now we've got the front 4 because we've got 2 separate ideas on the way to run this race, and the outcome's going to come to us fairly soon, because I have a feeling these guys in front have to have a pit stop for a fuel. So the guys, that guy, Brian, like a bit out of it, but definitely Cat Guy being a bit further up the chain, doesn't have enough time left underneath him to get in front of these guys and then hold them off when they've got fresh tyres. It'll be interesting.
Well, and then you also see too, as you look back there, even though those other guys, this shows the real power of the draft. I mean, Carlin just ran a 46.2. Your leader is running a 46.3.
Yep.
So this shows you how great Daytona is, about even with a car that's got damage.
What did I say? Cat.
Yep.
O'Brien. Look right behind them. There's the main pack behind them. So these guys are going to run fast times to keep the main pack away from them.
And look how much better they are at staying in line.
These are the guys that have been running over for centuries here. The front pack, just behind them, a little wobbly.
Yeah, but you got some gap there.
Well, if he doesn't hold on to the 47 car here, he might lose the pack. Jiggly's helping. My name's Jeff. A lot, but it looks like no. Sam's got back onto the pack, so it's 4 against 4. Don't think they'll catch him. The front group's definitely got the faster time. So
here we go. We got Jeff and Jiggly jumping in here. So what they must have figured out, now's their opportunity.
They'll Well,
Is
can't
is
see where
one
they end
pit?
up.
Can they make it with just one pit stop? Do you think they stretched it out far enough? We got 22 minutes left. So if we reach the halfway point in the race, can they keep the car under them enough?
Would you go just for fuel and go out and pray that that's enough and you can do the whole stint with tyres, or do you? There's a lot of questions on that. If you do
I
fuel
like
on tyres, you're going to be slow coming back out. These
yeah.
diesel guys will pass you.
I like that idea about I think the tire wear, even using accelerated tire wear at this track, I think that again maintaining your line consistently, I think you could probably get away with one set of tires. I know we've done it here before.
Yeah. So now it's up to Green Gaming and CMC to work out when they're coming in. Looks like Jiggly might have had a problem there.
Well, or maybe too, and maybe my name Jeff. Maybe he had some damage that had to be repaired that took him longer. Yeah, you definitely don't want to be the lone stranger out here. You gotta have a partner if you're gonna have any chance at all of trying to run down and get back up with another group.
Got 31 laps on this tank. 10 more laps or so, they'll be stirring the pot.
Yes. Yeah, so it makes you wonder, just try to stretch it, build as much gap as you can.
I don't think they've got enough, because from then to Dale they've got 40, so that's basically, I reckon, yeah, go in, get your stuff and go. So
See Booth Jumbo down in the pits.
yeah, he went. You know, if I was these two, I'd go in sooner or later, because if those guys were in a train behind you and they're working on the line and these guys are not working together too well, you're better off taking the bullet now and doing your pit stop and going back into the line. If these two keep racing like they are, they'll just be losing time hand over fist.
Well, and it also kind of makes me wonder too, if you know, track conditions are certainly a little different. It's cooler right now, and do these two, have they practiced kind of this late race, late fuel or light fuel, you know, hot tires, trying to get the car slowed down enough so you can actually get into the pits? So I wonder, here is Green Gaming actually going to right, throw out the anchor and throw out two anchors if you got them.
Throw out the Titanic and it might pull up eventually.
Right.
Yeah. That's one thing you don't sort of think about too much, is how much brake pressure and bias and all the rest of it you got on these things. You think, oh yeah, we'll worry about that when it happens, but when you can pull it in the pit lane and go, oh god, I'm just not going to stop.
You know, Green Gaming might be using a little strategy here, because you actually will burn a little less fuel when you're the second car in line.
Yeah. Got 39 on the front group. They'll definitely get out in front of one named Jeff and Jiggly at the moment on line calculations, yeah, sort of thing. If they come in, clean pit stop, get it all stopped, get what they want on, so just no tyres and out. I reckon they'll get, my name's Jeff and Jiggly, but if they do anything else but fuel and they play with tyres, then they'll be probably behind those two.
Like he's likely in for his last pit stop of the race.
Yeah. It's that group, and then there's the... He's on his own, but it's saying he's...
And it's your boy. That's the whole thing. Reminds me of that song, "One is the Loneliest Number." You're out there cruising along all by yourself, and you're wondering, why can't this car go faster so I can catch people?
Yeah, well, this group's chewing into his line. Not really chewing into Green Gaming's time much, but these two pulled off a good strategy and know that they can run to the end.
That would
close to
put
15
them
left and 37 laps. Well,
Yeah, would that put them close?
45 laps of fuel on it?
That's what I was gonna. That's what I'm kind of trying to do the math right now. And after a couple of fuel strategies that I've already blown this season, I suck at math. Is it? Are we talking? Could they be trying to run close to 50 laps? Do they have enough?
Oh, you won't get 50. I don't think you can get 50 out of it. I think you'll get 44 or something out of them, but I don't think you get 50.
Yeah, cut and sub. Well, they're still running. I mean, they're still running low 46s. You know, if they were going to try to stretch that, yeah, if they were going to try to stretch that fuel,
yeah, they'd be winding it back down.
Well, it doesn't look like Green Gaming's having much luck staying in line with CMC. With thinking that by switching the two, maybe that was what it was.
Looking to me like, is he going to the pits this time? No, we're not.
Yeah, but CMC, now that he's out front, now that he's not having to deal with the aero push, his car. And as soon as I say that, sorry CMC. The broadcaster's curse. Yeah, and where CMC's cars was loose to begin with, now as he's burnt the fuel off, it's going to get even looser. So you got all that weight from the engine up front, you've started to lose your fuel load. That car's, I'm sure it was a handful at the start of the race. I can imagine it's 2 handfuls now.
They've got to pull the pin eventually. Oh, this lot's changed around. Colin's given them the front group. Their efficiency just tagging the back to get whatever he can salvage out of today's race.
And I think, you know, knowing Karn well enough, I'm sure he jumped on the radio. And once he found out that they weren't gaining on the group with him out front, with the damage that he's got, probably says let's put the 3 good horses up front, and we'll help them as much as we can by pushing them.
Yeah, and I mean, people, think, well, that's cheating, but trust me, the NASCAR guys are not silly. If they can look at their lap times in the car and go, well, we're 2 seconds faster with Cat Guy in front than we are with this guy, change things around without, making it obvious to you guys, to everybody else. So they do it. least just by reading their lap times on the steering wheel compared to us telling you guys what they're up to.
Right.
Because yeah, I mean, you know yourself, game guy. If I, you know, want to show you that if you know I was a couple of seconds faster than you, pushing you or whatever, we'd swap around. Definitely. Just wouldn't be in the thought process about it. You'd be like, right, I've done 2 laps. What are we doing this? All right, how about we put you in front? Let's do another 2 laps and see what happens.
Yeah, what makes the most sense? Where are we going to be the fastest? What can we do to catch up? What car handles better up front? What car can run behind? You know, what driver can manage the changing conditions with the car to get the most out of the car to make us competitive?
Yeah, well, I always found myself probably a good guy to sit in behind somebody and be able to give them a push. I knew where to hit the throttle at the right times just so the car would get right up to the bumper bar, but then just basically almost pushing it. I mean, you can bump draft, but you got to be really, really careful on how you do it, because if you catch a corner on these cars, you're pushing one car in front of you, you know, to the direction where you're pushing the bumper bar, but you're also going to push yourself to that direction as well, and suddenly go 45 to the left or right.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that in a lot of instances on this track, I'm probably a better pusher than I am a leader. And I think so many times it's because I'm focusing so much on what the car that I'm pushing is doing that I find it's easier for me to stay in their tracks instead of trying to worry about what's going on behind me and hit my line. And I don't... Oh, here we go. Here comes the leaders in. Boy, CMC, and they make contact going into the pits. And both of them are spun out. The brakes... locked up the brakes getting into the pits. Oh, this plays right into the hands of our second pack that we're seeing here. Yeah. Cat Guy, Dale the Whale, O'Brien, Lecky, and Carlin Hicks. And Green Gaming knew that you can't turn around and go back. You wind up with an automatic disqualification if you wind up doing that. He's got back on the track. CMC's back on the track.
These guys will burn the leads.
Yeah, they're going to overhaul them now. And two, notice that when the 2 cars came off, notice that CMC had taken a much steeper line going into the pits.
Yeah,
Green Gaming actually took probably the more preferred line to get into the pits.
Yes, yeah, I agree with you. Once the CMC had probably the steepest coming in, and what that does coming in off the banking like that, it's sort of throwing you to the steep line anyway. So, I mean, like we were saying before, you don't want any mistakes coming in. It's a lot nicer for like what Green Gaming was doing, would be on the flat, trying to get your car to pull up, where TMC was coming off the banking late, coming down the hill, I'll call it, and then coming into the pit lane where your car, you know, will hit that little curve where the yellow line is, and it could just do anything. So I feel sorry for
Green Gaming. Yeah.
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 Yeah. But I mean, you had to go in. I mean, if you didn't go in then you wouldn't have been able to maybe keep with this pack.
Right. Right.
Went in earlier, I would have said you might have been able to come back out where Carlin is, in with no mistakes. But Green Gaming hasn't got a lot of time underneath his belt in these cars, so he probably wouldn't realise that. You go in by yourself and you have a really nice pit stop with no mistakes, then you can sort of gamble that you will come close to these guys trailing behind you, but you got to have a perfect stop.
Well, it's like, unfortunately, I've heard said about Daytona more than once. This place has broken more hearts than a cheerleader on prom night.
Well, the worst thing about it is they come together and then they actually haven't, been able to go into the pit, so they had to do another lap because they've basically gone past the pit wall. So we're out in the grass trying to trump the cars back onto the oval to get rid
Yeah.
So that's a big loss of time.
Well, and here we see Dale the Whale going back to his high line. Definitely can't see if it looks as though the damage that CMC had was too much. The car must have been injured.
That's a bit of a blown fuse there.
Too much for him to continue.
Yeah. No, I think he would have been maybe putting the blame on the other driver and went, yeah, sorry. But that's just my.
Well, all I know is what I saw from our long camera view, and I would suspect that there was that somebody's brakes locked up and a loss of control is what I kind of saw.
And in that situation, we're all seen those situations happen in front of you. There's not much you can do about it, even if you are green gaming. You've got nothing left on your brakes to try to pull it up even more than what you are. Sort of trying to gear down these cars, get it right down to help the braking. If you haven't fiddled with brake pressure, which most of us don't, got to consider in these cars to pull them up and just go, yeah, we'll deal with it when you're coming in, but when you're coming in at speed with nothing, everything on the line, you're sort of praying that nothing happens.
I'll also be curious to see once this group is going to get up here with Green Gaming, and where he'll fall in. Also, too, will he move over, grab onto the tail to see where, is he the guy that now becomes what Dale needs on the high line? Because we saw Green Gaming actually doing some running on the high line. Can he go to, because if you can't win the race, can you at least do something to try to help somebody, especially somebody that loves that high outside line?
Go through the center of them.
I'm not. I've got all of my fingers crossed right now and my toes that this doesn't wind up being an incident. But one thing for sure, we've got all of our fans here on Flux Motorsport TV watching this action, and business is definitely getting ready to pick up. Green Gaming moves down to the inside. Let's see, hopefully when he comes back up onto because he was way down on the flat, way below the yellow lines. Well, that was very courteous of him. He could have moved over just a little bit and not given up that much.
No, and I think that's to do with a bit of experience there as well. Green Gaming's pretty new to this side of the fence, like the NASCAR/American Tour. But yeah, he could have waited to get to the flat start, pull it close to the wall, and the guys would have gone down the inside of him. They might have had a funnel into one lane. Going down to below the yellow, seriously, stopping moment is as long as you don't play with going up and down on that yellow line, you don't spear in front of the leading pack. So yours truly has done. Taken out the leader. Ching ching.
Well, I know there'd be a group of people that are going to be very happy that we won't be coming back to Daytona next week, and I know there's going to be some people that are going to be sad that we're not coming back to Daytona next week. You have this love-hate relationship with this track, and when you're out front like Cat Guy, knowing that you've made your last stop, you've got about 2.5 minutes left, and as soon as I say that, Dale gets into the back of him and Lecky with nowhere to go because Dale the Whale slowed down. Yeah. Center punches him in the rear. That opens a high line up for O'Brien.
Now, has Cat got any damage out of that? I definitely think it's got something on the front left.
And I hope too, because they came from the banking onto the flat and then back up to the banking. I'm hoping that he doesn't have any suspension damage. Yeah, things got serious now. The pay window is open, and these three guys are going to get there first to get paid.
Yeah, they definitely went. We're not playing farm stations here. We're playing Demolition Derby.
Hey, who was the? And I'm gonna say this right now and wind up getting in trouble. But who was the guys that we were talking about? We figured it was going to be towards the end.
Well,
O'Brien and Dale. I left Cat Guy out of the mix. Now I'm.
Yeah, I had Cat, so I save you on that podium step there. I had him in front, but now he's done that twig to the car. I'm definitely thinking that O'Brien, out of the three of them, has got the cleanest car.
Yeah, he's been involved in the least amount of incidences.
Yeah, Dale was definitely carrying. But Cat is definitely showing us that it's going to be the last lap, and die wondering he's going to stick that thing 3 wide going across the finish line. I can guarantee it.
Yeah, and that's why he's our points leader too. He's proven time and time again that this is one of those series that he certainly excels in.
He's got in front. He's got in front of me here, but that guy's got the low line.
And he's went up high.
There. High line.
Okay, so here we go. They're coming down to the start-finish line. Is this the...
Side by side,
this is the race to the win. We get the little side draft. He moves down there.
That's right, it's O'Brien.
Well, I can't tell if they made it to the line before the timer ran out.
They did. I reckon it's O'Brien. Was this the last lap? This race complete, so I reckon it's. It seems to be still flat out.
Well, they probably still have the countdown timer because they've got cars behind them. Well, we're gonna see here if it's checkers or wreckers getting to the start finish line. Oh, they're beating and banging on each other.
Oh, Jesus! Gets unloaded at, but he still wins. Oh, we thought it was the previous lap. It's even more exciting the next lap.
Well, O'Brien gets the season sweep. Bookends both Daytona races. Cat Guy.
No idea how he steered that. he was almost lifted up in the air going, oh, I just got front tires going across the line.
Son, because with those two guys winding up at the top, we definitely know that the points are not going to change. Good run for Dale the Whale. That should actually move him up in the standings. My name Jeff Jiggly Jello. These
45.6 for Cat.
Jiggly Jello, Green Gaming. The two
Well, you know,
guys that
CMC gets the fastest, like 45.52.
and
So,
gets the hard luck award too. CMC and spent so much time running up against the wall. Had a super fast car, Booth Jumbo, top 10
well,
finish, first race out.
you know, if you're going to take anything out of that and say was not negative, but if we're going to take positive out of that, maybe, you know, CMC should have come off the banking a bit sooner, got down on the flat, and started pulling up the car, you know, a lot earlier than he did. Would that have stopped the crash? Yeah, it probably would have been better if he was on the flat than coming down late, seeing that Green Gaming already gone in. So that's my point on that one. I'll leave it up to the stewards to decide if there's anything to go with. The rest with it, you know, it's
There
lots
will
of breaking,
certainly
lots.
be some discussions about that. So
Yeah,
everybody out there watching on Flux Motorsport TV, thank you for sharing part of your Sunday with us. Don't forget, if you want to be part of this action, have this opportunity to join some of the cleanest sim racing and eMotorsports that there is, come join us. FluxMotorsport.com. Join us on the Discord. Get your evaluation drive. Sign up. Come be part of the action like you're seeing here today, and you too can be featured on Flux TV. This is One Shoe for
good
Muttley.
evening, good night.
Thank you so much,
We'll see you
and
next
we'll
time.
see everybody next week at Watkins Glen. Looking forward to it.